so I wanted to make this video today. It's kind of like a serious, it is a serious video, and it's also, I guess, a real video. I actually got asked this question a couple weeks ago on my live show, and I thought I would do this video because my channel is about fun, and a lot of times my trolling videos get put out there, and I don't know, I just like to have fun and be creative on my channel. And I do that to not really deal with issues that I have going on in my own lives. In my own life, I don't have multiple lives. My life. So sometimes these more real videos, as people call them, I don't like doing because they're not exactly comfortable or they're not exactly fun for me, because I have to deal with it every day of my life. And in this particular video, what I'm talking about, I've had to deal with literally since I think I was like 9, so what is that, 16 years of my life. And so it's a lot, and it's something I'm going to have to deal with the rest of my life. It's just, it is. So it's not exactly fun to talk about, but I do this because there are a few of you, a lot of you actually, who say, Trish, you know, a lot of your videos, I'm just like, no, I can't stand, but I stay subscribed because I appreciate your real videos. So having kept that in mind, and then getting this question a couple weeks ago on my live show, I thought, okay, like I'll do this video. Just get a little bit more in depth, and sorry if my voice is kind of going out. So, my eating disorder. I have an eating disorder, and it actually has taken me a while to figure out that I've had an eating disorder, because my whole life I've, you know, said, oh, I don't have a problem with food, or I always feel like I'm in control. Like when you think of eating disorders, you think of anorexia, bulimia, basically. Those are the two that are the most talked about, and the ones that people vocalize and people all rally for to get help for is anorexia and bulimia, because it's a mental thing, where you don't want to eat food because you feel fat or your fear of getting fat. There's just many reasons people are anorexic, and it's in your head. I tried to be anorexic. You can't, because it's a mental thing in your head. Like I can't not eat, you know what I mean? Same thing with all eating disorders. It's all very mental. I think a lot of people can say, oh, just eat to anorexic people. Well, they can't. There's a mental thing. Same thing with my eating disorder. So I am a binge eater, and that is an eating disorder, and it's taken me a while to figure it out, because I actually got a nutritionist, I've gone to a therapist, I've gone to a psychiatrist, I've gone to psychotherapy, I've gone to different things just for different issues in my life, trying to figure out, am I bipolar, am I this, am I that, you know, or just to talk to people sometimes, because life is difficult. Sometimes you need someone to talk to, and you need an unbiased opinion outside of your family, friends, the internet. So I've gone to therapy on and off since I was 18, and no, I'm sorry, probably like 20. And so I guess the big thing for me is I've always struggled with, my weight, and I guess I'm one of those people who is like, I'm at the point in my life now where I'm happy with the way I look. I would like to be like 20 pounds thinner, but I think that's the story of my life. No matter what weight I am, if I'm like 130, which I used to be, I wanted to be 20 pounds thinner. I think it's something that I just like, I always want to be thinner, but at the same time, you guys know I'm a narcissist. Hello, there's a pillow of myself. I love the way I look, and I love taking pictures of myself, so I think a lot of people can be really confused, and they're probably gonna be so confused by this video. Like, Trisha, you love yourself, you love your body, and I do, because I feel like you should never let something like weight or your body image hold you back in life, like ever. If you want to change, that's fine, but like I always preach, you know, change takes time, so you gotta be happy with yourself in the day, in today, how today is. And to be honest, I am very happy with myself and all that. But having said that, I'm still a binge eater. So I'll explain to you a little bit about my binge eating. And this definitely, if you're like a therapist or you're a psychology major, you probably can understand this better than I. But I have this attachment to food. The food is sort of like a safety thing for me. And I've always had that. Whether in my family, if we were happy and we had something to celebrate, we would go out to eat, or my mom would cook a big meal, and that would I would equate that with happiness. So you're happy, you're celebrating, life is going good, you're making money, you go out and eat. And then also when things would get really bad in my life, I've had, I'm not gonna say my childhood was awful, but like every child has their own problems in childhood or things they struggle with. And so when things would get bad, like, you know, when my parents would go to court over me, over custody battle, I'd have to go in court testify against my dad, or, you know, I didn't have a boyfriend in school, I had no friends in school, I would I would eat because it felt good to eat. Like, food wasn't something that just nourished my body. Food was something that made me extremely happy when I was feeling really depressed. So if I had an awful day at school, I would come home, and it's funny because at school I wouldn't eat lunch. And people would think it was so weird. They're like, why doesn't she eat? And I wasn't big, so it wasn't like, oh, clearly she eats, but I wasn't big in middle school. So I would go home and I would eat like the whole thing of Hostess cupcakes, and anyways, I always had problem, I guess, with portion control as well, meaning like I can't just have 3 chips. I've never been able to have like a handful or 2 handfuls of chips or a handful or 2 handfuls of popcorn. Like, I have to eat it all until it's gone. And I know that, and that's been like that for a long time. Like, and I think my mom would know because she would buy like a box of Rice Krispies and they would be gone. But at the same time, my mom was someone who didn't want to, not face that there was a problem, but she didn't want to, she knew I struggled with my weight, because even though I wasn't like fat, I was bigger. I was, you know, like I said, I was 130 at the same height I am now. So I was always like bigger. I wasn't like a twig, but I don't think she didn't see it as a problem, nor did she really think that there was a problem because I was still pretty thin, or, you know, or still just kind of a normal size. And she didn't want to, like, she just knew I had issues because people always called me fat since I was in the 5th grade. 5th grade, I remember being like 100 pounds and people calling me fat because I wasn't a twig. It was so weird, like, and I was not the fattest person in my grade. It was weird that people always called me fat, like at 10, it was weird. Because I look back and I was nowhere near fat, nowhere near it. Like, it was crazy that people would call me fat. So my mom knew I had the issue already in my head of weight and all that stuff. And so I remember my gym teacher too in the 5th grade called me husky. And I remember everyone kind of picked up on that. But again, I wasn't. It's so weird because we had like legitimately fat, overweight kids in my grade, and it was a weird thing. So my mom knew I had issues with that, so she never would say anything about my food or my eating. And to this day, I'm still really sensitive about if someone says, oh, we just ate, you're still hungry, or you're hungry already, or you're hungry, oh my gosh, like, or wow, you ate a lot, or you ate that fast. Like, if or even at the grocery store, when people comment, sometimes they'll comment on my food, like if I get like a bunch of junk food just because I'm on my period or whatever, they'll be like, oh, someone's hungry. Like, any little comment like that, like, it still bothers me. Like, I take so offense to it. And my whole family knows that. My mom always kind of knew that too, but anybody does. Like, and I don't like it when other people comment on other people's food either, because it's something that's such a sensitive issue, I feel. Like, I don't know, and maybe it's just me being sensitive because of my issues, but I don't like people commenting on my food or other people's food. I think it's so rude and like disrespectful because you don't really know what other people are going through or dealing with, you know? So along those same lines, I started binge eating when I was about 13, I would say. And that's kind of how I maintained my weight. So I thought I was fat, so I wouldn't eat for like 4 days. Okay? And I knew on the 5th or 6th day, well, sometimes 5 days, I guess, the week, and then the weekend I would eat whatever I want. And I did this from middle school all the way through my senior year in high school. And in high school it got a little worse. But in middle school I would go 5 days without eating, basically. Maybe have like, my mom had Slim Fast and I would maybe drink a Slim Fast. But I wouldn't eat. And then on the weekend, I would get everything. And my mom would take us to the movies. I'd get popcorn, nachos, and pretzels. And then I would get candy. And then I'd ask my mom to get us dinner afterwards. And then after dinner, I would be like, can we go to Taco Bell? Like, I would just eat, and consume all I could for 48 hours. And then on Monday, I would go back to not eating. And I not only was able to maintain, but I was able to drop weight doing this. Because after I would eat and eat, I would actually make myself sick. Not on purpose, like I wouldn't like stick my finger down my throat, but I would just feel sick because of all this crap I was putting in my body. So fast forward to high school, and high school, so sometimes I wouldn't do that all year. So like in the summer, for instance, we'd come out and see my dad, and I would just take the summer off. I'd be like, whatever, it's like not school anymore, no one's gonna see me, like whatever. And with my dad, bless his heart, it's not his fault because he was a single dad and we were with him for 2 months, and he was very busy. He, you know, had his own company and sold it for lots and lots of money by the time, you know, we were in high school. But I'd come out into the summer and we would eat fast food because we'd be on the go. So again, my dad wasn't, my dad and my mom both struggled with their weight, ironically, and they're very, very thin now. They're very in shape. They're very fit. Both of my parents, like, you would look at them. My mom is like 100 pounds and very fit, and my dad's like 180 and 6'1" and very fit, and they're both in their late 50s. So they got it under control because they both had issues with eating, and both of my sides, both my mom's side and my dad's side of the family, both have fat genes, if you will. We all have large people. My grandparents were large. My family is just, we're just large. That's just, we have it both genetics, so we don't have skinny genes as is. Same thing with my brother. He's struggled with his weight, and my brother is like 6'2" and like, I think like 190. He's always, so yeah. And my sister has a different dad, so she just had good genes in her, so she's just naturally skinny, but that's a different thing. Okay, so one summer I ended up gaining just a bunch of weight. I ate donuts, McDonald's, and that would be every day. That wouldn't be just, because I always think when I'm about to start a diet, which I felt like back then, even whenever I'm about to start a diet, even to this day, if I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like eat clean, when I try and get it under control, when I say, okay, I'm gonna eat clean, I still consume and devour everything. If I say, okay, my diet's gonna start Monday, that weekend I will eat Domino's, I will eat P.F. Chang's, I will get donuts, I will get chips, I will get fries, I will get everything I think I'm gonna crave and get it all over my system. Now, nutritionists, I know you're supposed to be able to allow yourself stuff because it's not a diet, it's supposed to be your lifestyle. I'm not a dumb girl. Intellectually, I understand that. I understand you're supposed to be able to treat yourself. I understand the importance of portion control. I understand not devouring salts and sugars. I understand all that. So while this may seem silly to you, it is really real to me, and I'm sure really real to other people out there. And I just wanted to share my story with you guys to sort of help and make you feel like maybe you're not alone. Because I know, for instance, nobody really talked about binge eating disorders when I was little, so I didn't really think I had a problem, or I didn't really understand what my problem was. But I just want to close with this, to not, when I was kind of touching it on earlier about judging people for what they eat or the food they buy or how much they eat or when they eat, I'm just going to say, you know, don't judge people for that, and don't judge people for how little they eat, or, you know, even not food, but just for their lifestyle choices. You can't really judge someone until you're in their shoes, and you'll never be in their shoes. You know, just bottom line, don't judge. You don't know the person's story. You don't know what people are going through. And I'll tell you what, it is a hard thing sometimes, but even when people are rude to me, or, you know, and I'm not talking about just the internet, I'm talking about in real life. If people are rude to me or snap at me or say hurtful things to me, I don't take it personally anymore, because who knows what that person's going through. And I do not judge, and I do not judge girls who are promiscuous. I don't judge girls who want to be a virgin. I don't judge guys who are promiscuous or guys who are players. They have issues. Everyone is dealing with issues. Everyone has problems, and don't ever let someone tell you that your problem is not significant because people are dying of AIDS in Africa or people are starving in China. While that is sad, and that is obviously a very traumatic situation, that doesn't make your problems any less significant. You know, we all have our trials and tribulations and our crosses to bear, if you're religious, if you will. And you gotta remember that, and you gotta remember to be kind to each other and love each other, and most importantly, love yourself. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Bye, guys.